What's up guys, 86717 here, and welcome to my 17th tutorial Minecraft tutorials. Now in this tutorial we're going to finish up my villager training hall which I started building over there. So as you can see over there, we've only just built the walls and we haven't even built the roof. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make it look better and build the roof, and that should be all. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, I've only just got this wall set up, and I haven't got any roof on it or any detailed yet, but that's gonna change once we get through. But as you can see, I've detailed this like I did the last tutorial, and then, well, that raid happened due to my incompetence. Anyway, so what we're going to do is start by adding detail, by adding a second layer to the front of this house, once that kind of gets away. Now, a good idea is to have some sort of block along the sides to give it contrast from here. And I've chosen oak wood, so you can jump up and do that. And I'm going to do this along all the corners to give it more contrast. Okay, so here I have the basic wooden corners set at every corner, so it gives it a slight bit of detail. Now I've also set up this scaffold so I can get to the top of the house without much trouble. So what I'm gonna need to do is calculate how to build the roof, because I'm gonna build the roof completely out of slabs. So instead of slanting completely at a 45-degree angle like my house over there, it's gonna be a much more gentler slant, giving a much smaller roof. So to do that, we're going to have to figure out exactly how to build this roof. So I've made a couple of recalculations. So I have one slab, then two slabs here, which means I'm going to have to add a block on every corner. And that's going to give it a slightly better shape off the side. And let's see, where's the middle? Here, it needs a block here. Oh, it's bedtime. So that should probably be the basic shape I'm going to need the roof to be. But I'm going to build a small detail here just before bedtime to give you a small example. And it should go like this. Each slab increases, so it's 1 then 2 then 1 then 2. So I think that's going to do it. Just get a better view from here, and yeah, I think that will do it. It's going to offshoot 2 blocks from each side and 2 from the front, well, 1 from the front if you include this, but it's going to give it a very distinguished looking roof. Okay, so I've built a little offhang from the roof to show you a good example of what it looks like. So I changed all the double slab blocks into just 1 stone block, and I put slabs on the bottoms on the outside to make it look even more uniform with the top half of the roof. And it's overhanging 2 blocks, but once I'm done with the paneling and the outside frame, it's only going to overhang 1 block, but it's going to give it more detail once I'm done. After done some recalculations, I've made that portion of the roof 1 block higher than I should have, so I'm going to have to take it down and start from scratch. Ah, that's completely annoying. Okay, so I've decided I'm gonna only do the roof up to here, because I'm gonna need room here to make the bigger roof. And I've lowered all of it 1 block due to that error I had earlier. And I think this is gonna make a good roof. It's not too bad. If you look at it from this angle, you can see it's not too steep. And it actually looks, in many ways, much better than the roof on my older house. And yeah, so the good idea of making the roof is when you hold shift and you build outwards, it allows you to be able to hit the blocks without falling off the edge, and it's really helpful. So it's a good idea to keep shift held with one of your fingers while you do this work, but in some cases it's more efficient not to hold shift once you get enough of the block built. Once you get enough of the roof built that you can walk without falling off. But yeah, this is the basics to building a roof like this. And there seems to be a wandering trader around my area. I'm gonna see what deals he has. Well, I haven't even done that part of the roof yet, but the wandering traders like to wander around with their llamas. And if you look at them, he's selling white dye for an emerald, blue dye for an emerald, cactus for 3, I can just get some over there. What a rip-off. Anyway, good stuff. An emerald for dandelion? Emerald for... no, I'm not gonna be buying feces with an emerald. And 5 emeralds... Okay, that's kind of a decent deal. I mean, it's generally a good idea when you have stuff that's not from the area, but almost all of this stuff I can get quite easily, so... Yeah, but you don't want to take him out, otherwise the llamas will attempt to get... Wait, he's taking them into the armor! Oh great, now there's gonna be llamas over all the beds. Oh my goodness, that's gross. Another quick tip, which is very good. For example, if you make a mistake, you can keep a pick in your main hand, and in your subordinate hand you can use the block you're placing, so it allows for much efficient workflow, and then you can swap to other blocks whenever you need to. So it allows for much more flexibility whenever you have to build more than one thing and you make errors like here. So it's a good idea to learn how to use F properly. Okay, so I basically finished this part of the roof and it's just about done, so it's quite nice and flat. But now what I want to do here is make a much more like sharp roof, more 45-degree angle. I'm gonna need to make a lot of stairs to do so. So this is gonna make this whole part stand out as being like separate from the other 2/3 of the base. It's gonna make it pop more. So I'll just get the stuff and start to work on this. Now, when you want to build get two roofs and they have to merge together, you got to be very careful to be able to make it flush with each other so it doesn't like have very jittery patterns. So what I'm gonna do here is start building a roof with some tips to show you how to make sure it's flush. And rule number 1 with stairs, always aim for this part where you want the stairs to end up like that. And then you just place here. So you gotta use a bit of logic at these type of parts. So this block is gonna be completely flush, but it needs to reach here. So the most logical way to make it flush is by putting that there. That would make it look a bit old. This will have a bit of a gap right there. So that means the best way to make this flush is going here. Now when you I'll just make the second layer steps. And now when you get here, you're gonna have to figure out what goes flush. So that looks pretty flush now, but you gotta decide whether it's that, but that is a bit jittered, and that is too flat for the steps. So we'll try stairs like that. That seems to be the ticket. So it's a good idea to be able to use a bit of forethought to help you know which way is going to be the best, like what I've already done here. We'll try one more set. So I'll just lay this down. Now we will extend this block. So when it meets up here, this says that it needs to be a block that that works, but then right here would be a set of stairs. So that's that done, which means this half slab is gonna come here and it's gonna meet here. So you gotta keep the pattern flush like this in order to make your roof successful. What are you doing on the roof? Why do you come up here? Villagers are weird. Anyway, what I have done is I've finished about half the roof, and I've used a pattern of stone stair, stone block, stone stair, stone block, stone stair, stone block to morph it properly so that I know inconsistencies or like little holes and stuff. So yeah, as you can see, I've got the majority of the roof done, but it's not quite finished yet. But great, now he's on the rafters. I'm gonna drop you right onto the cutting stones, right? Ooh. Yeah, he must have cut himself. Alright, so I've got almost the entire roof done, and there's only one thing left to do. I got to put some stairs on the bottom here to make it look more appealing. So I'll build a run-of-the-mill scaffold, and you got to be placing upwards in order to get it to look as flush as possible. Alright, so here I've got the basic roof done. It's completely finished. Everything is done with the roof, and it looks pretty flush. This side looks flush, this side also looks flush, and then the other two sides look exactly the same. Okay, so now that we've given the house the roof some character, now we need to give the sides some character. So I've got a bunch of different blocks to be able to decorate the sides with. Now, the key is experimentation. Experiment with what blocks work best in what areas. So I've got some slabs for some side coats, and I've got a few other things available. So what my goal is going to be is to use the concrete slab, use slabs like this with stairs to give it more decor, and I might need to make the windows higher. Should build the roof even more lower than I did. Ugh! Oh well. As you can see, the villagers have been breeding quite a bit immensely. I've got a farm out the back where farmers can do their business, and okay, so I think I've come up with a design that works. Using stairs slabs of spruce type, and then using dark oak logs and right-clicking them so they become like so taking off the bark, and then that allows me to do some interesting pattern stuff. So I'll continue doing this around the house. The key to doing this well is experiment. Experiment with different types of wood, different types of blocks, and you should get what you want, and it should all match. This is why you also need to try to experiment. I figured out using bark like this and stairs along the side gives a good side pillar, but what I also found out is having this center thing does not work at all, so I'm gonna need to get rid of that. Okay, so now that I've got most of the pillars and the side detail done, all I gotta figure out now is what to do in the cavities between the roof and the beams. So I've got the front and the back and the two sides to deal with, so I think I have an idea, and it's gonna go something like have a window in the middle with some paneling along the sides. Alright, so I took away some of the stairs and put blocks along the sides, and I've used stairs along to give it a little circular edge, so I think that's a pretty good design, I guess. Okay, so I filled this up, but I want to make a very small, like, little diamond-shaped hole. So I figured out a way to do that by doing this, and yeah, I think that's... maybe I should make it a bit higher. There we go. So I think this is going to be my design for the sides, and I'll just implement that on the other side. Okay, now I have the basic exterior of the house finished. I mean, the villager training hall finished. I got, it looks like this here, it looks like that along the sides, and then it's got these little diamond cuttings in the tops there, and then it's also got the same thing that repeats. Basically done the exterior completely. However, I want to make a little bit of a change to the bottom. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use my dark oak woods and make a little the lower bit I'm probably going to turn into another block. I believe I have a finished villager trading hall, well, at least in building design, so I've finally got a different color for like the sides, so it makes good skirting boards, and haven't yet finished the farm, but that will be done in due course. So I finally got this building completely just about done. But what I am going to do before I go is I'm going to transform that little shack with a review on how to do all this stuff. Okay, so now for a quick overview of what I've just taught. So you can use logs along the sides of your house to give it more detail in that way. So it helps it to stand out more. Now generally it's a good idea to make your blocks off the side. Sometimes you can put it in, that depends on how fancy you're going to make the build. Then you can also use skirting boards along the sides of your house. And then once you have your skirting boards, it's generally a good idea to make a decent roof. And then like how to add a roof onto it. Oops. So I'm going to add like a roof here, which gives it more detail. Placing edges along the stairs to give it more depth, giving it some beams across the top. Some stairs for decoration. And finally, some detail around the roof. Alright, so now I have done a complete renovation of my little shack. So now, my little shack is a beautiful little shack. Beautiful, isn't it? Anyway, this is going to be the end of my tutorial on building. I hope you enjoyed it. If you really did enjoy it, please leave a like. If you'd like to see some more from me, please subscribe. Anyway, goodbye. Oh, great. Now, I'm going to have to redo my house! Oh, no.